So, I think if I can convince you of anything by the end of this podcast, then the impact that could have on society, I think, is huge. I mean, the things I found out are going to shock you.
What do you mean by that?
I, as you know, was a psychiatrist in the past. Yeah. So I'm able to diagnose people and say whether they have a mental illness or not. In the past 4 years, I've been keeping a secret, and there were times in that 4 years that I had to ask myself if I was in clinical depression, if I was psychotic, if I was manic, if the way that my consciousness was expanding. I mean, Steve, I've been part of teams that have locked people up and put, had them injected with stuff against their will because of things they were saying that's not that dissimilar to things I've experienced in the last 4 years.
So, I guess we better get into the secret. Because I sat here with you almost 2 years ago now, and we had a fantastic conversation. But there was something you didn't tell my audience when we had that conversation that reached more than 20 million people. There was something at that moment in time that you didn't tell me, which was this secret you've been keeping. What is the secret, Tara?
I lost my beloved husband to leukemia almost 4 years ago. And I've written this book, which mentions my personal story, and I trust you. So I really wanted to come back on the podcast and just explain a little bit to people about what's been going on for me for the last 4 years.
So your husband, Robin, you met him 2016, and he passed away from leukemia in
2021.
2021. Now, from 2021, when he passed away, what happened in your life? What was going on in your world? If I was a fly on the wall in your context, what would I have seen?
He'd been given 2 weeks to live, but he actually lived for 3.5 weeks. And he died 2 days before our 4th wedding anniversary. So I was literally reading condolence cards on my 4th wedding anniversary. If it wasn't for the people that I have around me who became like a fortress, I don't think I would be here today. Never having had that experience before, it was just so devastating. And even though I'm a neuroscientist and a psychiatrist, I just was like totally lost and broken. And then I started seeing robins in the garden every single time I went to the window, both in Hampshire and London. I'd never ever seen so many robins in my life, like not before or since. I still see them sometimes, but I noticed it. I thought, of course, that's what I want to see. I have no idea what it means, if anything. And then about 6 weeks after he passed away, I was asleep and I heard a noise in the distance, and we had been burgled once, so I went to check it wasn't the alarm in the garages. Couldn't work out what it was, thought maybe it was birds in the distance, went back to sleep. It was about 4 a.m. And then I got woken up by a massive thump to my shoulder. I wouldn't demonstrate it on you because it would be too much for me to hit you that hard. There wasn't like a tap. So I opened my eyes and I could see next to my bed a very vague, hazy version of Robin, as if he was pushing himself through treacle to be seen. And I was just transfixed. And I saw him become more and more clear. I could see the outline of his hair and his face. And then suddenly he just dissolved from the top down, and my eyes went like this, and I remember seeing his shins and his feet. And I was like up on my elbow, watching, and I just gasped out loud. In my desperation, I did consult a couple of mediums. And again, I had that dual conversation.